Welcome back, everyone. My name is Uhfgood, and now I'm going to continue on with the show. So, all right. So I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to do the scene, and and actually, it might still just be just the scene, just the thing, because I need it to be little and I need it to be contained. But I was also thinking, okay, so if I'm showing the bad guy and his plans, I can't. It's not like a reveal. It's not like There's a thing, right? The mystery of Now it's not going to be a mystery to you because I am loading this with spoilers. This is about me making the game, so if you have the patience to sit and watch some of this, you can kind of learn some of the secrets and probably solutions to puzzles and everything. I'm not that concerned with that. Um, but for people that haven't seen this or don't want to see it, or went and watch this kind of thing, um, like when you play a game, right? Usually there's like a mystery that you want to solve. So, uh, and in this case, the mystery is, okay. So who's Max and why is he here? And of course, Max was banished before, and so we don't know. The characters don't know that. Um, we might could know that if you're playing the bad guy when he's making his plans. And I just thought, I can't have any kind of level of mystery to this because you're actually playing his part. And so I'm kind of going, well, how do I handle this? How do I do it? That's like a mystery. Do I not worry about it because it's a mystery to the characters, just not to the player? Or do I do it a different way? Um, maybe you don't see it from his view first. You see that afterwards. But I can't really do that because he's got to do things first, like when he fires them. I mean, I could do a jump in time kind of thing, but it's not really. It doesn't quite work. Um, the jumping in time thing, unless I make it specific and I make it kind of what I do, kind of conspicuous, kind of anyways, out there, kind of on purpose. Like I'm talking to different timeline. Like for instance, like you have a clock or a calendar, and it shows you the time and the day, and then when it goes back to let's say it goes back to Max. Let's say you've been kicked out of the throne room, and then you see a clock going back, and same date, right? And then it shows, like from Max's point of view, what he's doing. I could do it that ways. I mean, that would kind of work. I don't know how good it would be for the flow of the story to actually do it that ways. Or I can kind of do it kind of semi chronologically. But you're gonna kind of know the mystery almost right away. Or I could probably leave off some things. In other words, maybe you play. Um, is this thing actually in? It's in auto, isn't it? Let's 1080p it. There. Um, so maybe you're playing as Max Millions, the guy that's buying the thing, and you don't know about the Puppet King just yet. And maybe I could do it that way, is where you're still working on Max's plans. So his plans, let's just say, as Max Millions, uh, is to come in and buy Enchanted Lands, um, and have the board meeting which does it, and so that way I could maybe leave in some of the mystery back in. Um, but you have things like the king's a puppet king, and so if you want to make that a mystery, what you have to do is, since you're not actually playing the king, um, I don't have to start it there. I don't have to start where I can just start it as Max. Um, so I could kind of do it that way, where basically, um, even though I am starting it from Max's point of view, I'm starting it at the point of where he asks halfway to come in. And and then of course the other thing that I can do is, um, again, we want to play Max's perspective. So I almost have to do Max's perspective first. In order to do Max's perspective first, you have to be able to see what he does. In other words, you got to be able to play the thing with the board meeting and stuff in it, and you're not just and then of course I have the other problem is that if you're playing both sides and they're in the same scene together, in other words, do I do it as a point of view thing? If I do it as a point of view thing, I would have to do the time thing, right? So if it's a point of view, Max's point of view, then halfway's point of view. Um, I'd almost have to do it that ways, you know. It's kind of one of those things. Like you can't really do that in a story. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but you can't really. You can't really do the thing of where it's overlapping and it's from different perspectives. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. I mean, you can pretty much do anything. I'm not saying that you can't actually do it. I'm just saying that it's difficult to so that the flow still remains proper. That the pacing or the plot or however you want to say it kind of remains correct. So how do you do it so that how do you work it? You know, think of a Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle. Actually, what are we on? We're on part 5 here. And we're still at 2 times speed. Okay. Think of Maniac Mansion 2, Day of the Tentacle, and you have the 3 characters. You have Bernard, Laverne, and Hoagie. And you switch to them in between different parts at different times of the game. Do I do it that ways? Do I have everyone in the scene, including the bad guys? It kind of makes it difficult, right? Because they might be doing something. Let's say they're setting up a trap, and you're doing the bad guy's viewpoint, and he sets up the trap, and you play the puzzles are setting up the trap, but then you're playing halfway, and he comes in and just hypothetical. We'll say halfway comes in, but now everything that Max did to set up that trap, so you can easily get him out of it. So how does that work? Does that mean that I can't do what I wanted to do, where you can't play the bad guy and see what he can do? Maybe you can't. Maybe that's the point. Maybe I should drop that idea altogether. It would kind of make it easier, but at the same time, if you could play both of them, it would make it more interesting. So how do you set up such a thing? Maybe it's within the setup. Maybe that's the point. For instance, we see it from halfway's perspective first, and then we get to go back and replay Max's perspective. In that case, you would complete the puzzle, but then you have to kind of remember how everything worked to be able to go back through Max and set up the puzzle the way that you solved it, which also adds another kind of level of complexity. It's not that it's really hard, because you can make it do the exact same things, but at the same time, maybe you did them in a different order, maybe you did this, or you know, and so you have to kind of react to that, and so you have to set it up the way that you did when you were playing halfway apart. So I'm not sure that that's gonna work out so good right now. So I actually just, I guess I have to do further thinking in this area because I may not be able to do what I want to do and have it to be interesting enough. I mean, it's not interesting if you already know the answer to the puzzle when you get to it. You know, I mean, obviously you can go and look at like hints online and stuff for things, but usually you do that after you get stuck. But not. So I'll have to look into how I could make that work, and it requires more thinking. Um, so I guess that's kind of all I have to say. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do um, I'm gonna try to do some Unity. I'm gonna try to make a little thing. I'm probably going to learn Unity off, not on a video. I think I'm not sure. You know, if I get permission in somebody's to put somebody's Unity tutorial in the background, what I might do is I might go through the tutorial on video. Maybe what I'll do is I'll set that up as one of my like, you know, background for my talking stuff, so you can see how I learn. But if I do it like the Blender Noob to Pro, that's going to be on video. That's not going to be in a background dealie. So I'm not sure. I know that probably the next thing we'll do here is I won't do another talking video just yet. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and continue with the Blender 3D Noob to Pro on the next day, and we'll get through a section, and then I'll stop, and then I'll do something else like drawing or whatever. So I would like to thank you for watching. Like it, share it, subscribe, comment. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Yes, do all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. And maybe if I get going on reset. Maybe if I get going on my game and I actually have some progress and stuff, maybe more people will watch. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Like I said, I'm not focusing exclusively on the YouTube videos. I'm trying to focus on the gameplay or on the game development, but then I want more viewers to come because I want to do something interesting. So anyways, I guess I'll talk to you tomorrow or the next day.